Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What up, though? It is the Lions Fan Cave Chat, and I got my good friend here, the Chicken Nugget King. How you doing, Chicken Nugget?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, One Pride? Hey, it's almost that time of the year, man. We getting close. We getting closer and closer to, football season, and I can't wait to see what we got in store, going into the season and whatnot.
Well, when you were on Facebook, I got my chat for my show that I had everybody in. And I asked this question of them about our Red Wings, because, I'm starting to cover all the sports. So I want to keep it a little bit round-tabled at the top of this. Are we officially, after the last 4 straight seasons of being in a playoff contention spot and losing it, is March the Dead Wings era of the Red Wings now?
I think March was never a kind, month to the Red Wings, because the Red Wings had a horrible type of, movement in March, and they didn't lost games in March. They didn't have any kind of rhythm, any kind of momentum going forward. And, it's hard to really maintain through that or get through these games and try to win and try to bolster yourself up and get your boost of steam right up high. It is. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to try to do whatever you can to win and depend on someone else to lose. So that way you can still keep your playoff spot and your hopes alive to make the playoffs. We last I checked, we beat Philly. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not too long ago. Yeah, that was a 5-2 game, And this is the same night where we had a team go 56-21, meaning the Detroit Pistons. So all they got to do is just finish strong here. It's April. Finish strong. And if you can't finish strong, you're out the loop.
We don't preach here, but yes, we are Christians. I get it. Hallelujah. Amen.
Hey, definitely. Amen.
But let's see. Back in 2023, that was the first year that Dylan Larkin was made captain of the team. We went 5-9-1 and fell out of playoff contention. We were at the cusp of it.
Being close ain't good enough.
In 2024, on the cusp again, 3-9-2, fell right out. In 2025, we went 4-10 and fell out of it. This year, we were leading the Eastern Conference 3 weeks prior to March. Got to where we were just, I think we were still 3rd place at the beginning of March. We went 5-7-2 and fell out of playoff contention. All of this is while Dylan Larkin is a captain of the team, is the captain of the team, and our frontline center. I think maybe it's time to strip him of the C. I know he's got a couple years left on his contract, but I don't think he should be captain anymore because he's not leading the team.
And that is a problem.
I think Mo Sider should be the captain.
I think he definitely could step up and be, a cap for sure. I mean, it's definitely in the plans.
The few games we won were while Dylan Larkin was hurt, with Mo Sider leading as the assistant off the defensive side.
And Mo Sider is definitely a top 5 defenseman in the game.
That being said, we just signed Chuck Clark, a safety that started 5 games and played in 15 last season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His last year when he was with the Ravens, 2 years prior to that, he was actually the defensive captain with the green dot. And we all know how big of a challenge that is if somebody's not ready for it. And they had a pretty good defense that year, if I remember right.
They did.
And then he went to the Jets in that awful stadium known as MetLife. I call it the Field of Knees. What happens to him? First preseason game of the season, torn ACL, missed the entire year.
Yeah.
Next year, in the off season, tore his pec, missed the first 4 or 5 games, then came out and then tweaked his ankle and missed another 4 games. So he missed a total of 8 games that year. But the fact he was healthy all season with Pittsburgh means it's not really an injury history because they were all different injuries. In other words, he's not injury prone. He played on that awful MetLife turf.
Yeah, I totally get your point on that. You know, you're not an injury prone player. You just have, you know, injuries that can hurt you.
Right. But what I like about him, with him being a former defensive captain in the NFL, that means he's somebody that can come in just in case Kirby and Branch aren't ready at the start of the season and be a leader, a vocal leader for the deep secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know Captain Jack is the captain of the defense.
Easily. That's an easy call, definitely.
But he could be the second in charge taking care of the secondary.
Mm-hmm. Definitely could hold it down.
And he rated in the top 10 versus the run last year. 83.1 was his PFF grade. So he does well at setting the edge. He has tackles for loss. He forces fumbles. He's forced 7 in his career. He has 5 interceptions. He has 37 passes defended. For a safety, that's unheard of.
Yeah. Crazy unheard of. I mean, with that kind of stat line, you're eating good and you're doing, you know, the damn thing pretty well.
Now, he's been in the league for 8 years, but he missed 1.5 of it. So that's technically, 6.5 years worth of games?
At least 6 games. 6 games you missed. That's less than, you know, many more than you could miss. You know, like missing 6 games can be something, but it's not like a big deal. You could still get out there, be productive, and play that when you get back.
In the secondary, tentatively right now, I have it. Arnold is the 2, Reed still as the 1, McCreary as the nickel. Because if Kirby can't come back, Rock Ya-Sin's going to have to take over his position.
Mm-hmm.
And then have Chuck Clark play where Branch is.
Just slide him right over there.
Yep. Because he does more of that in the box and the Viper safety type of role.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes our dime back probably Ennis Rakestraw unless somebody else steps up.
I expect Ennis Rakestraw to play. I expect him to have, you know, a healthy season, but ain't no telling on that. You know, he's been injured for the past 2 seasons. He's definitely going to be needed, but if he's not, you know, healthy this year, then definitely you got to just let him go, cut him loose.
Yep. And I know that's hard for Brad Holmes to do. He's had a hard time letting go of the players that have been hurt, whether they were rookies or vets.
Right.
Because he's loyal to his players. And I applaud him, but sometimes it's detriment to the team. I mean, we've done the prove it thing with lots of players that has worked for at least a season. John Kaminsky, Charles Harris. The Marcus Davenport thing never worked. The Mosley thing never worked. Who was the other one, though? The Williams receiver we got that didn't work because he was like played 2 plays and then was out for the year.
I think that was Mike. Not Mike. Not Mike. His name was different.
Starts with a T. It starts with a T, but it was different.
T. Williams, but it wasn't. You know, I'll call him T. Will. But yeah, he was on our team. He was on that year when Jared Goff got traded here.
Mm-hmm. And got hurt in that first game versus San Francisco.
Yep, immediately.
I think it was 2 plays in, or maybe the second drive in, something like that. He didn't last long.
And we haven't seen him since.
Now let's fast forward to last season, and I want to bring this up again. Up until week 9, teams were only averaging 62 yards against us. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember who was the starting tackle when Aleem McNeil was hurt?
Oh,
Real easy. Talik
yeah.
Williams.
Another
first round
Williams.
Talik Williams was way better against the run than DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil combined.
Yeah.
And you saw that when him and Lopez took the field later on after they started giving him more snaps.
Yeah, because they made sure that he, could get the quality stop that they needed.
And both of them ended up collapsing in the pocket. Both of them ended up getting sacks in those last few games. We actually ended up winning a game at the end of the season, but it was 2 weeks too late because they should have been doing it that way all along.
Yeah, that season wasn't so long ago, but it was long ago.
But the offense really never missed a beat.
Never. Not at all. And that was...
We had the one bad game, and it was versus who we thought we'd have a bad game against. Philly.
Philly. And to me, Philly, we knew we could beat them. We knew we could, but we just didn't, finish. It was just the call that ruined it.
It wasn't even the call. I'm not even going to blame the call. I'm going to say it was the lack of execution on third downs, then the poor choices of going for it in field goal range on fourth down. We left 9 points on the board. That would have tied the game.
You don't leave 9 points on the board like that. That's embarrassing. You got to score more than 9.
And technically 12 because Jake Bates missed one.
And he missed a field goal kick.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. He missed one. So technically 12 points was left behind.
And that's last season, not the season before last season. But that was this past season. And the one thing I had a bone to pick with is that we just didn't know how to stay consistent and keep our foot on the gas that game. We didn't. There was games where we could, but there was games that we couldn't. Right. It was 50-50 that entire year.
And we had a couple of derailed games, and you know what I'm talking about, whether it's bad calls or stupid mental errors, poor communication of the O-line, holes not opening up for the run game, making it depend on Goff. And he did answer that call. I'm sorry, 4,500 yards passing. He had, 31 touchdowns to 7 interceptions?
Yep.
So do the math. That's a 4.125 to 1 interception ratio. That means for every interception he threw, you got 4 touchdowns. And the bad part is he had a 5 turnover game. Like one of them, wasn't it 2 fumbles and 3 interceptions in the one game? That was his worst game of the year. Weird. Uncharacteristic. And then we picked up an assistant coach. Did you hear about the assistant coach we picked up? Chicken? Uh-oh. I think I lost Chicken for a minute. Yep, can't even mute his mic. I think he dropped the signal. He'll pop back in. So those of you that are in the chat, thank you for watching. Those of you that are watching on Twitter and on Huddle Network, we appreciate you being here. The Lions are still sitting pretty good for salary cap.
Yeah. You good on the Wi-Fi?
Oh, yeah, you're back. Yeah, you're good. I lost you for a second. I asked you a question. Did you hear that we signed an assistant running backs coach?
I believe so. We did. We did. We just did. Not too long ago.
James Booby Williams. We just
And
signed him.
James Booby Williams is a hell of a running back coach.
Well, he played back in the 2010s with Washington State and had a brief 3-year stint till a career-ending injury hit him. It is what it is. That's the shelf life of the average running back in the NFL, anyways, is 3 years.
Yeah, because when he played ball in college, he was a guy that knew his ins and outs, his 1 and 2. I'm saying, be elusive.
So the energy and culture fit, because I did some looking into his coaching style. He's got that booby swagger, confident, vocal, and authentic. Expect him to connect with younger players fast, reinforcing the Lions' identity of grit, accountability, and emotional edge. His technical value, vision, and footwork drills. Williams specialized in touch space cuts and acceleration bursts. Pass pro fundamentals. He was a reliable blocker in college and something Detroit backs need to master. Film room communication. His air raid background at Washington State University gives him a modern lens for spacing and route timing. And his locker room impact that I'm getting is he's a bridge between players and coaches.
Which would say that he believes in.
Yeah. Someone who lived the
brings the
grind
best out of you. He's someone that brings the best out of you.
Yep. Someone who's lived the grind and can translate Campbell's intensity to actionable technique. Think of him as a culture amplifier, not just a position coach. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I like it too. I definitely like it. I just think that he's more of a guy that wants to be 50-50 and wants to make sure on the same page.
Yep. Absolutely. You seem to be having some connection issues, brothers.
And that's what I'm liking hearing right now from Booby.
Oh yeah. So I think it was a great move. Another guy to help in the run game with Petzing. Because Petzing is more of that run first offensive coordinator. He can coach passing, don't get me wrong, but he's more of that run first guy. So I'm really looking forward to see what he can do. And I think that's why we brought in Kafka. Kafka's more of the passing game specialist.
Oh, I'm like glued into it. I'm definitely glued into what Petzing can do. Because they can balance one of the two, passing and run. And when you balance the two, it works well.
And what's good about having two offensive coordinators, one is the offensive coordinator, the other is assistant. Yeah, I'm thinking edge or linebacker. Because don't forget, we took Campbell at 18. So there's a history of him taking a linebacker that is good in that spot. I don't think it'd be Jacob Rodriguez. I don't see him as that high of a prospect, but maybe Anthony Hill Jr., Sonny Styles if he falls. I think defense goes in the first, and we'll get our tackle in the second, because Caden Proctor is falling fast, and it's not due to a bad pro day or anything like that.
Oh, if Sonny Styles fall to the Lions at like 17,
Brad might run to the podium like he did for everybody else. But I'm leaning towards more towards Akeem Messidor. He's somebody that should be there at 17, and with his experience in college, being a 6-year guy, used all 5 years of eligibility. He's 25. That's not really that old if you're coming out of college. It's a big difference. You play and on average 3 less games total than you do the entire season in the NFL. So it's not like, yeah, crazy numbers. Good to see you, Joseph. And that's why when I've been doing my mocks, I shifted my focus. Unless like one of the great tackles are there, I'm going defense in the first round usually. I mean, if Fanu's there, or Mawagawa, or Monroe Freeling, it's a no-brainer offensive tackle pick in the first round. But if it's not one of those ones, you go edge or linebacker. Do you agree with that, Chicken Nugget?
Absolutely, wholeheartedly agree. You know, if last I saw, on NFL Network that, Spencer Fano could drop to, the Ravens or the Chiefs in their mock drafts. But if he does fall at 17, pick him up. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Either way it go at 17, you might, get a splash out of Akeem Mesidor. Or if Ruben Bain's there.
Here's the thing that I see about it is that the top end talent at tackle is really good, but there's a big drop off to that second tier guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the defensive ends, it's not as big of a drop off, but it kind of plateaus and it stays all the way through. You know what I mean? There's the upper echelon, which is your Ruben Bains, your Akeem Mesidors, David Bailey, those type of guys, the ones at the top. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. And then you get a little drop off, and there's a bunch of these guys that will fill those roles. Yinzer, good to see you, brother. I got to do it. Where is it at? This guy is a jagoff. So I'm going to let you tell me who to pick. I'm going to put up, you might want to make your screen full so you can see it. We're going to do a mock, and you're going to do one, then I'm going to do one. Ready?
Yeah, right.
The second tier talent is all about the same, but the top tier talent is really good. After Jalen Kilgore, there's a drop off. Tight ends, there's really no top tier talent at tight end, except for maybe Kenyan Sadiq, and I don't think he'll make it to 17. After that, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm listening. I'm just taking out my dog.
Yep. Here we go. All right, so wow, Mekhi Lemon's there, and we don't need a wide receiver is the crazy thing. Wow, I'm not going to the second round. Ruben Bains here. Yes? 6'3", 275. Are you a yes on that there, Chicken Nugget?
Absolutely, yes, definitely. Wholeheartedly.
Now here's where we make a decision on tackle or going linebacker. Let's see who's there for both. I don't like either one of those trades. So let's go defense. Let's see linebacker. Well, Jacob Rodriguez is still here. Hosea Trotter, Jake Galday. Let's go safety. Bud Clark, Zakee Wheatley, Jalen Kilgore, and Kamari Ramsey. After Kamari Ramsey, it's kind of a crapshoot at that point. I think that's where the drop-off starts. Cornerbacks, you got D'Angelo Pounds, who's small, but a very gritty player for Indiana last year. Don't forget, he did pick off good old Chandler Beck, or Carson Beck. Offense, let's see what's in the tackle room. Max Ahinakor's here. That's a done deal. I'm sorry, I'm going to go Max Ahinakor over anybody on the defensive side. What about you?
You can't pass them up. No. That's a
This
no-brainer
means
pick.
Maxa Henekor is a right tackle. That means Penei Sewell's our left tackle going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could debate on the linebackers and stuff like that, but I think that was the right pick. Now here's where you go linebacker
Absolutely.
first. Aiden Fisher is here, but you can get him later. Charles Demings is here. Safeties wise, Lewis Moore, Robert Spears Jennings. I kind of like this guy. I'll show you why. 6'1" and 219. He had a 978 relative athletic score, and he was a defensive captain. He's a little on the light side at 205, but he has above average arm length and way above average hand size, and he ran a 4.32 40-yard dash. I love that kid. Not at 118, though. So I'm going to go this way. Let's see. Zane Durant, who had one hell of a showing at the combine. He's 6'1" and 290, which puts him in that tweener category, but he's had no health concerns at Penn State. But the guy I really love, the Godfather. Look, it even talks about him. This is the first one we actually seen a write-up. Look at this. I don't know if he did the testing. Nope, he just did the size. But he's 6'1", base 340 pounds. Yeah, we went over that. Will Lee isn't bad, but I thought he was on the short side. 6'1" and 190. Toriano Pride is the midget that can run like it all get out. He was the fastest guy in the. Look at that. He's so short that he came up short on the relative athletic score. Even with those great numbers. Yeah, he didn't test out, but he had a good grade in college, Lewis Moore of Indiana. I know. Zane Durant or Dante Corleone? It's up to you. Chicken. Oh, chicken lost out. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get that fast guy. 4.32 is a safety. Now I'm going to go linebacker. Aiden Fisher is here. But Caleb Alarms or I got to show you this. Yeah, he ran a 4.47 with a 40-inch vertical and a 10'4" broad jump. His hand size is small, but 6'2" and 234. Not ideal size. Whereas Aiden Fisher was a smaller size one too. 6'1", 232, 9.5, a little bigger, about the same size arms. He did the drills, but he didn't do the actual combine run and all that stuff. This is the guy I love that we can get later. He didn't test out either, but 6'5" and 233. I love Lander Barton. Yeah, 6'2", 180. Julian Neal. There we go. This guy's good. See, look, Lewis Moore is still here, but I like Deshaun Singleton better. But another guy I like is this Wydett Williams. 6'2", 205. But I really like Deshaun Singleton. 6'3", 210, out of Nebraska. Lander Barton. And then, of course, there's always my guy. I love this kid. he didn't test out, but look at that size. 6'5", 242, plays linebacker and safety. Supposed to be running in the 4.4s to 4.5s. I think that kid's going to be special. I almost want to grab him here because I don't know if he'll fall any further. I'm going to take Lander Barton. He's kind of like Jack Campbell. He's a 4.5-ish guy. Plays with his head. He's real smart. Doesn't get a lot of penalties. All right. So now I think I'm going to double down here. Nadami Tucker. He's only going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. 6'5", 263. Patrick Payton, 6'4", 260. This is one of the guys I love. Tariq Sapp, 6'3", 265. Yes, he is of that lineage. What? There's a trade offer. 205, 207, 232 for Houston, 7th next year. It says we win this trade. I'm taking it. This is where I double down. I get my Viper. Now I go tight end. I like this kid. 6'5", 245. And then there's Tanner Kroziol. I really like him. This is the guy I like. And we still got another pick, so I can actually go and get my guy, the wrecking back, Chip Trayanum. He was not invited. But look at that. For a little guy, he's got a nice wingspan. His hand size is above average. Look at the weight. 5'10" and 224. And last but not least, I call him the super sleeper QB, Jack Strand. So let me go ahead and download our mock. Come back here. Move from screen. Stop the sharing. Make it so my face isn't so darn big. And we're going to load our mock up. I think that's the right one. Let me double check. Yep, there it is. Okay. Yeah, Cole Payton is another sleeper too, but I prefer Jack Strand. Oh, so KC took our pick. This is an old one. This is not the one I just loaded. What the heck's going on here? I didn't trade that far back. There it is. Yeah, there we go. Yes, Cole Payton is another sleeper, but we ended up with 10 picks because I traded one and got 2 back, gave up our next year's 7th and picked 205. Reuben Bain Jr. at 17, Max Ahinacor at 50, Robert Spears Jennings at 118, Julian Neal, Lander Barton, Tariq Sapp, Kendall Daniels, Tanner Koziol, Chip Trayanum, and Jack Strand. I just think those all they're moves that make sense. And Max Ahinacor isn't expected to just jump right in and be the starter unless he earns it, because we got Brian Barch and Larry Borum there. I think Larry Borum. What's up, Chicken Nugget? What's up, buddy?
Yeah,
I saw you dropped out. That's okay. This is what we ended up with. I took one trade at 205 and went back to 207 and got 232. Ruben Bain, Max Ahinakor, Robert Spears Jennings, Julian Neal, Lander Barton, Tariq Sapp, Kendall Daniels, Tanner Koziel, Chip Trayanum, and Jack Strand.
Yeah, those are some solid picks.
I had 2 edge, 2 linebackers, a corner,
Mhm.
a safety. One of the linebackers can play safety. Chip Trayanum, you saw my write up on him.
Mhm.
I call him the wrecking back.
Mhm.
And you may remember him. He was that gunner that forced the fumble the last time Michigan lost at Ohio State.
They did. He was.
Yeah, he was a running back that was a 4-star recruit with Arizona, transferred to OSU. They moved him to linebacker because they had no room in their running back room at the time. So
Mhm.
they used him in special teams and in rotation as a linebacker. Then he was there for 2 more years. And then he got the chance to go to Toledo. In his 1 year starting, he ended up averaging 5.6 yards per carry and 1,076 yards and 12 touchdowns in 12 games.
Yeah, that is like a true testament to what he can do for you as a football player. Like he's definitely a guy that's gonna, fulfill like the role and step into the role and make sure that his role matters and play, up to his ability, because if when that role matters, it matters. You don't want to let go of the role that you got, whether if it's gunner, whether if you're starting, you're just going to make the best of it out there. And I think he's going to be a very solid gunner, in the league.
Yes, Jack Strand's release is lightning fast. That's what I like about him. He when he makes his decision to throw, it's quick, it's deliberate. He also has that arm elasticity to throw it from different angles, like a certain other quarterback that we had here that did it way before Patrick Mahomes. So that was our mock draft. What do you think there, Chicken Nugget?
You trade away pick 05 and the 2027, Houston 7th round pick to,
But we got
LA.
207, but we got
Yeah.
207 and 232, which made it so we had
Yep.
10 picks instead of 9
Yep.
to bolster our depth. And that really isn't going to change how much you pay out. It's going to change it by maybe $1 million because don't forget, 7th rounders only make about $1 million a piece.
And to teach his own, it's not bad. It's not bad that they can make that. But I'm more worried and concerned of, the play, the production of what
Right.
these picks can do. And I understand if we, get 11 picks or 10 picks. I mean, I don't mind it, but we just gotta get out there and draft guys that can help, in the now, depth wise and starting wise. You know what I'm saying?
Football
So
players.
yeah,
Football players.
football players.
Like the first couple of years, do you realize every single pick, the first 2 years that Brad Holmes picks, started at least one game?
Hmm?
Every single one of them. Even nasty ass Jamar Jefferson.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he had a start. Let's not forget that. He definitely had a start. And he did get selected in like the later rounds, like 7th round, 6th round,
He was 7th
7th
rounder.
round. Yep, 7th rounder, and got selected at that point, but we didn't even see that much of him at all.
No.
Right
And
after
then,
that.
then he got derailed the next year in the preseason or in the off season. He got hurt in the off season. He didn't even make it to preseason.
Hmm. I mean, he was long forgotten after that.
Yeah. So there you go. That was our mock draft. I think that. So now let's look at the linebackers. We added in Lander Barton and Kendall Daniels for depth that have a chance to compete to earn a starting position. Because don't tell me that Malcolm Rodriguez's starter position is secure because he's had dealt with injuries the past couple of years.
No way he gets a chance to start this year.
Trevor Nowoski has a better chance to start over Malcolm because when he's been in rotation, he's made some big plays.
Hmm.
But that's who they'll be competing with.
I mean,
one of them-
Malcolm's more of a my fault. My fault.
That means that they're both competing for a chance to be the Alex Anzalone.
Mm-hmm. That exact role.
And both of them have the chance to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kendall Daniels will have a better chance to hit the field right away because of safety depth. And the fact he has safety skills because he was converted from safety to linebacker due to his size.
Yeah.
I can see it too because, you know, he didn't test out at the combine. He didn't test out at the pro day. He has no RAS to go off of. And that's kind of scaring some people. Is he hiding an injury? You know, you won't know until those draft day physicals are done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying what I'm hearing. So Ruben Bain could fall. I think Averill Reese has jumped him in the rankings at that defensive edge position because he's kind of in that same frame as, you know, a little lighter frame of him.
Mm-hmm.
And with his phenomenal showing at the combine, one of them should have ran. Messidor didn't run. Ruben Bain didn't run. And I think it's costing them both money and draft position.
Mm-hmm. It did. But quick question, where do you see Arvil Reese even falling?
I have
Like-
going top 10.
I see that as well. I definitely think it'll go top 10. It's
'Cause
possible.
One of those teams that likes the positionless players, because we are one of those teams. We like positionless players.
Oh yeah, they might go for the guard out in Penn State. They just might. No one.
I'm hearing that they're more high on Mekhi Lemon there in Baltimore because they need a number one now that Likely's gone and the other guy was a free agent.
But you know, Baltimore, they love their guards. They
love
love their
guards.
guards.
They love their guards, they love their centers, and they love wide receivers. That's what they love to draft.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just to give Lamar Jackson some help.
Mm-hmm. So that pretty much rounds out the Lions fan cave chat because there's not a lot of other news out there other than what Dan Campbell said about when they were comparing Jeremiah Love to Gibbs. He goes, you really can't do that. Love is a great running back, but he's not the same type of weapon that Gibbs is. We could line Gibbs up at wide receiver. And this is his exact words. He goes, Gibbs is one of those guys that's fast enough to do everything on the field on the offense other than quarterback.
You know, I was just gonna get to that because Gibbs could be utilized out the slot too.
Right. And they're saying they're going to use him more in that wet role, you know, but we've heard that every year. But at the same time, if you look at his stats, they did it. His first year, 55 receptions. His second year, 66. Last year, 77. It's gone up 11 receptions each year. And he did actually line up in the slot a few times. But at the same time, now that we have this three-headed monster and we've seen Tesla starting to develop, I kind of want to see more of him than Gibbs in the slot.
Just to keep Gibbs in the backfield, let Tesla work at the slot.
Mm-hmm.
It's smart. It's a smart way of thinking with that offensively.
And I love the fact we got Tyler Conklin, a guy that blocks and can receive out of the backfield.
And fun fact, he trained with my brother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back when my brother was playing ball. Like, he's not playing now. Like, you know my brother. Like, he's all into the game of like the spectrums and the you know, understandings of how to work as an athlete. That's what he was training with, you know, with Ty Conklin, because Ty Conklin is a guy that likes to work and go, you know, just 0 to 100, you know, and that's what he wants to do, especially when he's blocking.
So let's go through our offensive line right now as it sits. I think Penei Sewell is our left tackle because Ben Barch and Larry Borum are both right tackles. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
I think the battle is at left guard between Mahogany and Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Our center will be Cade Mays unless they draft somebody, and then there'll be a battle there. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that, but the Cade at the center is a no-brainer.
Right now, he is the
Mhm.
center until draft time. That's all we know is he's our center.
Yep,
know
up
our
until
right
further
guard.
notice.
We know our right guard is Tate Ratledge.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
And I think our right tackle is Ben Barch, or a player to be named in the draft.
Barge came from San Francisco, to my understanding.
Yep.
He
And
came
before
from
that,
there.
he was with a couple other teams before that, but he came from there as a starting right tackle.
I think that was was he there last year or a
Yeah,
year
he was
before
there
that?
last. He was last
Yeah,
year
last
and the
year.
year before.
Yep, he was.
Mahogany sounds like another word for crisis.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
And he had flashes even last year when the whole O-line was bad. He wasn't horrible. He just wasn't as good as he was his rookie year. Because his rookie year, nobody knew him. Nobody knew his tendencies. And we played him out of position because he came out of Boston College as a right guard. We played him at left guard, threw him in and said, hey, my guy's hurt. You got to play.
I mean, it was a drop year for him. I'll say that. If you understand what I'm saying, like it was just not the year for him.
That's why I said it's going to be a battle between him and Frazier, because Frazier came in a couple of times while Mahogany was hurt. And yes, he had mental mistakes that all rookies do, but he looked good doing it. And Cade Mays, yes, if you compare his stats across the board, he flashed at PFF as the 25th center. But you got to take that. They're looking at the totality and number of snaps, number of holds, number of this, number of that. And a lot of his holds and penalties came when he played guard in rotation versus when he was at center the last 6 weeks. He did really well in pass protection and not as good in run protection at guard. I'm saying this because in the last six games, if you go look, he was anywhere from 6th to 15th in center play during those weeks he started the last 6 weeks of the season.
And let's not forget, at center, he did not allow any sacks.
And he did not allow any sacks. And I think in those 6 games he allowed 5 pressures, if I read it correctly. But
a solid 5 pressures? Crazy.
In 6 games, only 5 pressures. Hey, guess what? That's better than Graham Glasgow did the first game versus Green Bay.
Oh, yeah. Graham Glasgow had an ugly... Oh, my God. It was ugly for him.
I had to say it.
I mean, I don't blame you. Because look at the performance he had. It was a disaster. Straight up.
Oh, and 25th center was still ranked better than Graham Glasgow. Graham Glasgow, with 32 teams, ranked as the 38th center in the league. Let that sink in.
Yeah. That's saying something.
There's a couple of
that's saying something.
You know what the bad part is? There's a couple of centers that were starters that ranked lower than him.
I'm shaking my head right now.
I don't know how. Because the backouts outplayed them. Not here in Detroit. Our backups were awful too. Kingsley Egg, that experiment's over. Who was the other guy we brought in at the end? Tristan.
I haven't heard any news on
Tristan Colon. That's who it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Colon.
Yeah. And he was worse than Kingsley Egg.
Oh man. Don't bring that name up again. don't.
I had hopes. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna tell you, I had hopes because if Kingsley Egg wouldn't have got hurt the year before and went back to college to improve his draft stock, if he'd have came out hurt, he was considered the best center in that draft.
I mean, I'll take it easy on him, but the dude just wasn't a fit. Obviously, he just didn't fit.
Well, they were hoping he would because Florida ran his own blocking scheme similar to us for their system. So they were hoping that he'd be able to fill in right away. And the first half of that first game, he did not look bad. And then the missed snaps, the missed time snaps. This 2 fumbles by him directly that was charged to Goff that shouldn't have been charged to Goff. It should have been charged to the center. One was one so bad that Goff wasn't even ready for it. Remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
That was the mistimed one. And then there was the one where he put it back, but he didn't even put the ball in Goff's hands. It bounced off his knee.
Yeah.
So, and I hate the fact that they charge that to the quarterback. Those are fumbles that should be able to be charged.
I mean, that's definitely on the offensive line, wholeheartedly. You know, that's on the O lineman to do their job and not to let those, fumbles happen or not to let any pressures come by.
But then again, Tristan Colon didn't do any better.
No, he did not.
Goff had 6 fumbles last year. 3 were due to sacks and 3 were due to his centers.
Ugh.
Ugh. So, kudos to getting Cade Mays because we talked about it prior to free agency starting. And when we looked at it, I said, I don't think we're going to have the money for Linderbaum. I said that right away. Take him out of the equation. I said, which leaves McGovern, the one that was the Bills. I said, he probably gets re-signed, which means the next best center on this list is Cade Mays by proxy, because everybody else is either aging, gonna retire, or never was.
Mm-hmm. McGovern was a no-brainer to stay with Buffalo anyway. He wanted to be a Bill for the rest of his career. Lindenbaum definitely went ahead and just got his money, so what did you expect out of that?
What did I say? As soon as I saw that Max went back to the Raiders, I said, man, he's going to look at all the signings they just got. He goes, I finally have a team.
Oh, I bet you the first thing he saw when he looked at that depth chart and he looked at the roster and the names that it has, oh, he's definitely staying. He's not going nowhere.
By the way, just before we went live, I saw it come across on NFL Network, so I got to do it. We do have breaking news. The Jaguars has re-signed Trevion Henderson to a 4-year, $100 million deal with $77 million guaranteed.
What?
Yes.
Oh, he's eating good.
So the guy that was on the trade block last year for half the season, remember all the clamoring about trading for him?
Yep, I remember the talks. I remember it.
It is now locked in at least 2 years. Because you can say what you want, but anytime it's a 4-year contract, you're only locked into the first 2, maybe the third.
And then you might, if you stick it out, you might stick it out. But other than that, who knows? You might get traded after that. Because some of those guys that get 4-year contracts end up getting traded.
And I know you had to have saw it the other day that Puka Nacua entered rehab.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
This is after the allegations from the New Year's party where he bit a girl on the neck and threw out anti-Semitic remarks. I remember he had an off-season ordeal the year before that where he got in an altercation with somebody while drinking. I think it's alcoholism, and I hope he gets well.
Yeah, it's off the field issues. That's going to be a distraction for the Rams. I'm glad he's definitely heading into rehab to get his mindset better. But at the same time, it's the off the field issues that people aren't going to forget about when it comes to Puka Nacua. Solid player, but it's just the off the field things,
Oh yeah. So that has been the news of the week. Oh, and JSN got a bag. Now the highest paid wide receiver in the league.
Oh, there ain't no way he was leaving Seattle. Come on now.
It
Ain't no
even
way.
his 4th year. They did it ahead of time. Remember, he was a 2nd-round pick. He's going into his 4th year. This was his 3rd year. So it was smart of them to get ahead of it. But I think they overpaid a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because of the market.
If I'm not mistaken, was it over his option? Did they pick up his option?
Was he a first round pick or a second? I thought he was
Second, I
round
think,
pick.
yeah, he was second round.
He
Had
got
to be second round.
no fifth year option, so they had to do it this season. So instead of letting it get to that point and deal with a possible holdout, because you know how they do, they're going into their fourth year, they'll hold out in training
because they want their money.
They got it done, but they paid him more than Jamar Chase.
Come on,
I'll leave it at that. They paid him more than Jamar Chase.
And Jamar Chase wanted a crazy bag.
He got a crazy bag. He got 40 a year. This guy's getting more than that APY. I think it breaks down to 44.5 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me do the math. 44.5. That's exactly what it is. Wow. So all we have left to add into our roster for this year is Ben Bartch, Teddy Bridgewater, and Chuck Clark to come off of a total of $24.5 million. I think when all's said and done, we'll be sitting around 19.
Mm-hmm.
And we need 12 million of it to sign our rookies where we sit with the 9 picks. So I don't know if we'll be as active trading because you don't want that number to go up much, because you want to save that 4 to 7 million for injury signings throughout the season, because it's not a question of if injuries happen, it's when. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I definitely agree with that sentiment. Like, that is a good assessment, great assessment on it. And, you know, I don't, like I said, I think the draft is full of surprises. I don't know what we're going to do, but I want it to be a great, outcome for us.
Now, if they want to package that 4th, 5th, and 6th this year, the extra one in each, just to move into the 3rd round and have 7 picks and be done, I'm good with it.
I feel the same way on that one. I wholeheartedly agree. As long as they make the right offer for those picks, we're fine.
But if they don't, I'm happy where they're at, because this linebacker room is deep, the edge room is deep. When you take off the top tier talent, I'm talking about everything in the first 2 days. You take that top tier talent off, even wide receiver and tight end, it's a deep class. You know where it's not deep at? It's for Fernando Mendoza and a bunch of bums.
The quarterback room.
Yes. And that's why everybody says this is a down draft year.
I think Dante Moore backed out because he wanted to go next year's draft, not this year's. He backed out.
Because he couldn't get the number 1. He backed out because he couldn't go 1 and he didn't want to go to the Jets.
And I wouldn't blame him.
Instead of demanding a trade if I get picked by the Jets like Eli did to San Diego, he said, I'll be the bigger man and bow out and fight for my starting job at Oregon with Dylan Raiola.
Hey, look, Dylan Raiola is going to Oregon, right?
Yep, and that's where Dante Moore goes. And
Raiola is definitely not winning that. No way. No way he wins that.
But hear me out, though. So Dante Moore goes back to Oregon, but the transfer portal was closed. You see what I'm getting at there? So
it's going to open up.
It's going to be an open competition between them, and if Raiola wins it, kudos to him. Good for him and his father, Dominic Raiola, that used to be our center.
Former Detroit Lion.
So there is a tie there. That's all I was getting at. So I'm hoping for him. I like the kid. But that we have made it through our hour, Chicken Nugget, and I want to say thank you for being here. Tell everybody how to find your channel.
Hey, you guys can find me at Chicken Nugget King 313 Sports right here on YouTube. I'm sitting at 374 subscribers. And also, you can go out there and Instagram me at Chicken Nugget King 313, on X, CNK 313 Sports. All sports talk every day, all day. And you can find me right here with my guy, Jeremy B, when we do our Lions fan cave chat. and even more. So stay tuned. We got a lot more in store for you. And even on Lions Nation Unite, can't forget that. Go out there and get our gear now.
Make sure you tell Herman Smoke and Jeremy B said hi.
Oh, I definitely will.
All right. Well, everybody, you have a great weekend. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody, and we are out.
Turn it up, it's that time again. Jeremy B. Lyons, he's your best friend. Every weekday, Evan, you know the vibe. He's shouting one ride with that rocket drive. Rolling up the scene, light up that fire. Jeremy's in the booth, taking us higher. With a grin and a laugh, he's got the crowd in a blaze. Smoking at the haters in a rock star haze. The stories that inspire and riffs that will ignite. When one pride echoes, everything feels right. Jeremy B. live every day at 11. Yelling one B ride like we're in rock heaven.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.